Discuss the physical properties of group 18 elements. Group 18 elements have closed shell configuration, that is, the outer shell electronic configuration is completely filled and they are highly stable, due to which they are inert and they have no ability to gain or lose electron. So they exist as monoatomic gases. These gases are colorless, tasteless, and odorless. And these gases are inert in nature owing to its fully filled stable electronic configuration. Noble gases are sparingly soluble in water. Now, what happens is there occurs between monoatomic gases, the force that is present is weak van der Waals force called as dispersion force or London force. And these weak force increases as the size of the atom increases. That is, on going down the group, the enthalpy of vaporization increases because of the increase in the van der Waals or London dispersion forces. So as the size of the atom increases, the magnitude of van der Waals force also increases. These are non-polar molecules. So increase in polarizability of atom with increase in atomic mass results in more magnitude of van der Waals force of attraction. As a result, the boiling point increases down the group and melting point also increases down the group. Now helium has a melting point of 4.2 Kelvin. The melting and boiling point increase with increase in van der Waals force of attraction. So helium has less magnitude of force of attraction, whereas due to higher nuclear charge, radon have more or intense van der Waals force of attraction, due to which it has high melting and boiling point. So the polarizability in the case of radon is more, so it has more boiling and melting point. These are at room temperature non-reactive gases, but under certain conditions these gases can be liquefied. So the gases can be liquefied and the ease of liquefaction increases with increase in the van der Waals force. And easily the gas can be liquefied is xenon. Now helium, which has a boiling point of 4.2 Kelvin, has a wide application in cryoscopy. Helium is non-reactive, and in that it is used in cryoscopy to make superconductor. Liquid helium we use because of its low boiling point of 4.2 Kelvin. It is used to make highly powerful superconductors. Now these noble gases also have ability to diffuse through glass, rubber and plastic. They diffuse, that is, they can pass from one surface of glass to another, or through rubber or through plastic. They can pass through the membrane of glass, rubber and plastic, which are generally used as laboratory material. So it's difficult to store these gases. Now chemical properties of noble gas. Now chemically these noble gases are inert because of stable electronic configuration. So chemically they do not react because of stable electronic configuration. Also they have high ionization enthalpy. So ionization enthalpy, electron gain enthalpy and stable electronic configuration makes it chemically inert, but it reacts with other elements to form compounds. Group 18 elements may combine with other elements to form compound only in the case of Xc, and that was initially done by Neil Bartlett. So Neil Bartlett tried to make a compound by mixing xenon and platinum hexafluoride. As xenon and oxygen have same kind of ionization enthalpy, it was seen that oxygen combines with platinum hexafluoride to form a complex. So xenon would also react with platinum hexafluoride to form a complex, and this was basically done by Neil Bartlett. So he used Xc and treated with PTF6 to form a new compound. So he got a new compound for Xc, and it is because it has similar ionization enthalpy as that of oxygen. So xenon forms number of compounds like xenon fluorides. It combines with oxygen to form xenon oxide, and also xenon oxyfluoride, that is, it will combine with oxygen and fluorine to form compounds. So xenon has less ionization enthalpy but higher than radon. So xenon has more ability to react because of low ionization enthalpy. So decrease in ionization enthalpy increases its chemical activity. So chemical activity is more because of the ability to lose electron from outer shell, and that is more in the case of Xc. On the contrary, helium, neon, argon have very high ionization enthalpy, so we don't have compounds right now. After Xc, the compound which is made and which is being studied is for krypton, and only one compound has been synthesized, which is KrF2, krypton difluoride. And krypton form only one compound because it has high ionization enthalpy, and radon, even though it has less ionization enthalpy, it forms unstable compound radon fluoride, and radium is highly radioactive, so the compounds are less stable and it has no stable isotopes. So radon does not form generally compounds, we don't have much about it. So we shall study.
Now we shall discuss the compounds of xenon. Neil Bartlett was the first to make compounds of xenon, and he made xenon hexafluoroplatinate by reacting it with platinum hexafluoride. Now how did he do that? He actually saw that when oxygen can react with PTF6, similarly xenon too can react because they have nearly similar ionization enthalpy. So if oxygen reacts to form complex, then xenon also would. And he was able to make and synthesize this complex, and later on different compounds of xenon fluorides, xenon oxides and xenon oxyfluorides were obtained by different other chemical methods. So it was Neil Bartlett who was able to make different compounds. Now let's see the formation or the preparation of these xenon fluorides. So xenon combines with fluorine to give binary fluorides, xenon difluoride XeF2, xenon tetrafluoride XeF4, and xenon hexafluoride, which is XeF6. So he made these three compounds by combining xenon with fluorine in particular ratios. So we shall discuss XeF2 now. Xenon and fluorine, when they combine in the ratio 2:1 in prism nickel at 673 Kelvin and a pressure of 1 bar, we get xenon difluoride. So now xenon tetrafluoride. Now xenon, when we react with fluorine in the ratio 1:5 at 873 Kelvin in presence of nickel and a bit high pressure, that is 7 bar, we get xenon tetrafluoride. Now XeF6 can be prepared by combining xenon with fluorine in the ratio 1:20 at 573 Kelvin in presence of nickel and a very high pressure of 60 to 70 bar, we get xenon hexafluoride. So there are different methods to prepare xenon fluorides. Xenon tetrafluoride, when combined with dioxygen difluoride at 143 Kelvin, we also get hexafluoride. Now let's see the structural aspects of the fluorides of xenon. So what are the structure? Now we know the central atom is xenon and it is having the configuration 5s2 5p6. But when it gets excited, the electron gets shifted to 5d1. Now it has 5 atomic orbital, out of which 2 have unpaired electron and 3 have lone pair. So 2 unpaired electron are used for bond pairs, and the structure is now symmetrical and linear, and the 3 lone pair lie in the equatorial site and the axial sites are occupied by the lone pair. So it has a linear structure. Now xenon tetrafluoride, again xenon is in having 8 electron in the outermost shell. It will get 2 times excitation because it forms 4 bond pair. So it has 2 lone pair, 4 bond pair out of 6 electron pair, and 4 electron pair which forms bond are present in the corners of the square, and 2 lone pair occupy the axial side. So it has a square planar arrangement, and the hybridization is sp3d2. And when you talk about xenon hexafluoride, it undergoes 3 excitations So now it has 7 electron pair, 3, you have 1 lone pair and 6 bond pair, and the hybridization is sp3d3. Due to the presence of lone pair, 1 lone pair, it has a distorted octahedral geometry. Not complete octahedra, but 1 lone pair, so distorted octahedra geometry is the structure of xenon hexafluoride. Now, the properties of XeF compounds. Xenon fluoride, the properties we shall discuss. Now, xenon fluoride, they are white crystalline solid. Let it be difluoride, tetrafluoride or hexafluoride. These sublime at room temperature. So that is, it turn from solid to gas. Good oxidizing and fluorinating agents. Now, they are good oxidizing agent because they themselves get reduced to Xe, and they oxidizes Cl minus to Cl2, Hi to I2. So the oxidizing character you can see from the reaction. Also, they are good fluorinating agent. That is, they give fluorine to other compounds. XeFO, when you react with platinum tetrafluoride, you get xenon and platinum hexafluoride. They undergo very fast reaction on hydrolysis. XeFO, XeF6 react violently with water, but XeF2 reacts slowly with water, and they form xenon oxides. XeFO, XeX6, these reactions are very important. Balanced reaction we need to learn. And XeF2 reacts slowly to give xenon, hydrofluoric acid and dioxygen. XeFO reacts with water to give XeO3, XeHF and oxygen, and XeF6 with water on complete hydrolysis gives XeO3 and HF. They react with metal fluoride and they release and form a complex in which metal forms the cationic and xenon forms the anionic part. So MF5, XeF2, now MF5 is a non-metal, PF5, SBF5, ASF5, etc. and it will form complex where Xe will give F to the other compound. So XeF2, when you react with PF5, you get XeF with plus and PF6 minus, and they act as fluoride donors. XeF4, when you react with SBF5, you get XeF3 plus SBF6 minus. So they release fluorine, so they are fluorinating agents. They react with metal halides like RbF, rubidium fluoride, and you get rubidium because it's a metal, Rb plus XeF7 minus. So this was a board question this year. Complete the reaction of what happens when this react. So whenever you have a metal fluoride reacting with xenon hexafluoride, the metal will have positive charge and fluorine will be now released by rubidium Rb, and you get the complex. So these are the different properties of xenon fluorides. Now we shall discuss xenon oxygen compounds. How are they made? What are the properties of xenon oxy compounds? Now we shall discuss them. The different methods to prepare xenon fluoride, xenon oxides are here. Xenon oxide can be prepared by reacting xenon tetrafluoride or hexafluoride with water. We get xenon trioxide, that is XeO3. So when you take XeF4 or XeF6, we can make XeO3. Also, xenon oxyfluoride can be made by reacting xenon hexafluoride with water. If you add one molecule, that is very less hydrolysis if you do, you get xenon oxyfluoride. That is replacement of 2 fluorine, 1 oxygen. And if you want to replace more fluorine, you require more number of water molecules. So xenon hexafluoride, when it reacts with 2H2O, you get XeO2F2. Is a hydrolysis of XeF6 a redox reaction? So if you have to know in XeF6 it's a redox reaction or not, we can tell F is in -1 state in XeF6, and in XeOF4 also it is in -1 state, and HF also F is in -1 state. So none of the atom undergoes reduction or oxidation, so it's not a redox reaction, it's just the hydrolysis. Now the structure of different oxide and oxyfluorides. XeO3. So xenon trioxide, the central Xe atom has 8 valence electron, that is 5s2 5p6, and it undergoes 3 times excitation. Now it undergoes sp3 hybridization, 1 lone pair 3 bond pair, and the remaining d orbital having 1 electron forms d pi p pi bond with oxygen, forming double bond. So it has a pyramidal shape. Even though the sp3 hybridization is taking place, it has 1 lone pair 3 bond pair, and the pi bond is formed by the overlap of d orbital electron of the Xe atom with p orbital of oxygen atom. So you have d pi p pi bond, that is a double bond. So Xe forms double bond with all the 3 oxygen atom, and a lone pair is present. So it has a pyramidal shape. So XeO3 has a pyramidal shape with 1 lone pair. Now XeOFO, again excitations will take place. It will need to form 4 bond pair. So the hybridization is now sp3d2. 4 bond with F and double bond with 1 oxygen atom and 1 lone pair. So it has normal XeF4 4 bond, and then double bond with oxygen by making d pi p pi bonding, and a lone pair on Xe atom, and that lone pair is not in the plane of the square but above, or you can tell below. So it has a square pyramidal shape. Hybridization is sp3d2, but the shape is square pyramidal. Now XeO2F2. Again the electron undergoes hybridization, and the hybridization is sp3d, and it has 2 unpaired electrons in the d orbital, which is not used in hybridization. Now XeO2F2 has 1 lone pair, 2 bond pair with F, and 2 bonds with oxygen atoms, a single bond, and the double bond formed by d pi p pi bonding. D electron of Xe will overlap with oxygen unpaired electron of P to form pi bond. So it has a seesaw shape. XeO2F2, sp3d hybridization, due to lone pair, it has a seesaw shape. Physical properties of XeO3 and XeOFO. So what are the physical properties? Now xenon trioxide is a colorless substance. It is highly explosive and a hygroscopic crystalline solid, that is like water. And XeOFO is a colorless liquid.
Now we shall see the uses of group 18 elements. So what are the use of each element of group 18? We shall see them in this particular video. Helium, having a low density, is used in weather balloon, hot weather balloons, airship, etc. So due to its less density, it's less dense than air, so it is used in hot weather balloons also. The amount of helium is 1 meter cube, and due to its low boiling point, it finds a large application to make the superconductors, that is cryoscopic material. Due to lowest melting point and boiling point, it has higher superconductivity, and it can be used to make different kind of magnets, which are used in nuclear magnetic resonance spectrometer and in MRI. Liquid helium is used as a superconductor, which is used to make different kind of magnets, which are used in nuclear magnetic resonance spectrometer. So in NMR spectrometer, we require different kind of magnet which have high conductivity. Even in MRI, which is used in clinical diagnosis, we require magnets, and these magnets are made of helium. As helium has very high superconductivity, it is used to make these magnets, which is used in NMR and MRI. MRI clinical diagnosis, we have seen the use in medical purpose. Also, liquid helium is used as a cooling gas for nuclear reactor. It is also used as a fuel in gas-liquid chromatography. It is used in cylinders for scuba divers as a diluent to dilute the oxygen. It is used to make it more soluble in blood.
So helium oxygen mixture is used by scuba divers. Now we shall see the uses of neon, argon, krypton and xenon. The main application is of Xe. Now neon is having application in discharge tube, in fluorescent bulbs and in neon signs to give orange red flashlight. So it is used for advertisement purpose. So maximum use of neon is because of its glowing nature. So in advertisement flex the light is being used. Also in botanical garden neon bulbs are used as it stimulates the growth of plants. So we take neon bulbs in botanical garden, also in greenhouse. Argon is used to give like inert atmosphere in different apparatus or during different chemical reaction. During like welding of aluminium, stainless steel, we require inert atmosphere and argon is used in such particular reaction. Argon is used to fill electric bulb so that the filament, tungsten filament is protected for a longer time. Krypton finds application in filament bulb and in discharge tubes. Xenon finds application for high-speed flash which is required in photography. So we use Xe to give high-speed flash which is used in normal photography. Radon is used as a radiotherapy for cancer treatment.